right, here we go. Another documentary video here talking about one of the things I wanted to do is get out there and do some public speaking. So I'll be working on a keynote here, kind of talking about things that I think make a successful business or make somebody successful, or what it takes to be successful, kind of my key takeaways. So they'll be in no particular order, and I'll kind of expand on them over the past as I develop it and refine it. Excuse me, catching my breath, just got out of the gym. Once again, one of the key tenements here is no rest days. You get to the gym, you do whatever you need to do. Even if you don't feel like doing it, you go out and do it. So that's one of them. But number one, aspire to make it different. This one's pretty important to me. It's kind of where I'd figured out what's important, what my path is, or my purpose. Just chasing dollar bills or things hasn't really filled that need, that desire in life, until I realized it's kind of finding that you want to make a difference in somebody else's life, versus your own. Seems to give you more gratification, and I'm gratitude for that. Give without expectations, that's another one. A lot of times we're out there doing things for people, expect something in return, and we're disappointed when we don't get it. But when you give without expectations, you're doing things essentially for yourself. You're trying to feel good for yourself by doing these things. We don't expect anything in return. It takes that burden of keeping score away. So that's a big one for me. Execute on ideas. Ideas are just ideas. If you don't do anything about it, you don't go out and implement, they just stay that way, ideas. So the best ideas become businesses, inventions, because people acted on them and they did something with them. So it's important to execute ideas, and the people that execute are always going to outperform the people that just are having ideas. Be in the right places. This is about, my thing is like, hey, nobody's going to show up at your doorbell, ring your doorbell and give you an opportunity. You need to be out there and putting yourself in the right places. So if you want to make sales, you want to make a business, you want to meet people, you go where they're going to be, you do things they're going to do, and put yourself in a position with a chance for a more likely outcome. I like the saying, you hang out at the barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. Well, you hang out with successful people, they're doing the things you do long enough, and that's going to rub out on you. Always making progress. Everything's not a home run. Everything's not a double. It doesn't even have to be a single. Sometimes it's just getting on base, and continually making progress. If you go 10% better, 10% longer every time, it's going to result in accumulation of more practice, more results, just from doing just incrementally smaller things. So always try to do a little bit more than you did the last time. No rest days, we talked about that. Hey, I'm a big fan of Jocko Willink's thing. Hey, you don't feel like doing it, do it anyways. You don't feel like hammer on a project, hammer on a project. If you wake up, you feel like you need a rest day, you put that off till tomorrow. You go anyways, you go through the motions, you get it done, and then tomorrow if you wake up and you still feel the same, then take your rest day. But more likely than not, it's just your mind trying to give you the easy way out, take the path of least resistance. So get back on, as Jocko says, the war path. Reach back, pick somebody else up. It's another huge one for me. People in my life, 4 or 5 people, about a handful of people I can say had an impact. They were there kind of at the right point in my life to give you advice, and to guide you in the right direction, when they necessarily didn't need to. They're advancing their careers and their successes, and they kind of reached down and guided me. And that's what I want to do, is reach back and help those people up, be the person that they need. I like the saying, be the person that you needed in your life when you were younger. And that's what I want to be, is helping people out, not sure where to turn, what to do when they're starting businesses, and kind of give them guidance and give them that motivation that if they keep chugging along, they can do it. Because it's a tough grind out there, and it's not for the faint of heart. All things are possible with God. You know, that's kind of like the first thing you hear, like all things are possible with God. I like it towards the end because you remember it. One of the last things is put that first, because you know, there's a higher power out there. Whatever your religion is, there's a higher power out there that kind of guides you and puts you in the positions and brings things into your life that you need when you need them. And sometimes you don't always know what they're there for. That's what hard lessons are about. But those challenges are what God puts in your life. So a lot of times I just like to say, hey, whatever I'm going through, it's temporary. God's put it there for a reason. We're going to endure. We're going to get through it. And He's going to carry me through it. And I'll learn from it. And I was going to say something else about that, but I'm kind of drawing a blank. So we'll come back to it again. This is just practice. We're just getting better at this. Gathering thoughts, data. Last one I kind of added recently was find your fire. Chip on your shoulder. What drives you? What motivates you? You think about people like Tom Brady. You know, he didn't get drafted till the last round, and that fueled his fire. And he said, "Hey, I'm going to give the Patriots everything in God because they believed in me." And you know, he's gone on to be one of the greatest of all time quarterbacks. And you know, he could have gotten complacent, but he's always got something lighting a fire on her, getting suspended by the NFL and missing out on things. So it's the people that have that fire. That's what drives them for success. And sometimes even when they get the success, they start becoming complacent and they lose that fire, and you don't see much from them. So you want to keep that fire, keep that chip on your shoulder. And when you've had that success, you know, reaching back and picking somebody up helps you. That could be a fire. It could be leaving a legacy, but it's just continuously to finding what drives you and let that rage and let that burn and move on it. I kind of like the other day I was kind of down and I wanted to be happy again, and I thought, you know, what's happy? It's that point in your life where you're feeling joy, feeling ecstasy, whatever it is, and you're pretty stoked on life. But if you felt that way all the time, it'd become a flat line, it'd become a status quo, it'd become a baseline. And so you don't have the highs without the lows. And when you have those lows, you know, they're not fun to go through, but man, that pain, that heartache, that stuff, that's what wants to drive you. And sure don't like going through it, but I'm trying to remember now, hey, that pain, that's the good stuff, man. That's going to fuel you to do more, to try harder, to do better, prove people wrong. Who knows who we're proving wrong, but you know, we're trying to prove people wrong, but really we're just trying to prove it to ourselves that we're stronger than that. We can do it. We can do what we put our minds to. So yeah, fuel your fire. Enjoy that pain. Enjoy the burn. Love the process. I thought I had that one written down there. Love the process more than the destination. That's number 10. We'll write that down later. Anyways, peace. Thoughts from a rambling guy leaving the gym.